2021, 2022 of Tucker looking out the window above my head and I'm all cheesing. You know, Ma, I think that's what's like sustained us and kept us like happy, joyful, is because we always had things to love, you know? Like even all the years, like Mom didn't talk to me for a lot of years. It didn't matter. At least I knew she was taken care of, that she was okay because she was downstairs. I ask her that sometimes. I said, Mom, do you miss the house in Omaha? Do you miss 2331? The yard and all that stuff, you know? It would have been harder on Tucker later to go up and down the stairs. Like, it would, like, when I look at Tucker and, like, the places that we had that could accommodate his special needs, and everything just worked out pretty okay for us, you know? And things have been hard for a long, long time for me. On and off, like, I'm one of them Chiron and Aries people. People don't. You know what's funny about that is that they didn't even, scientists stateside didn't even come to the knowing of Chiron. The asteroid didn't even like it didn't exist. That storyline didn't exist until 1977. Yet people are born before that. And they encompass this energy. I call it the orphan with parents, is what I call it. Like they call it. Other people call it the wounded healer. Huh. I don't. I guess my wound, I think, is getting caught up in the industrial military complex. I think that is. I know my scarlet letter is an A. Instead of in force, in U.S. Air Force, I put the A in place of the O, so it says United States Air Force. I like my version better. People are figured out America's a big old fat liar. America's like, hey, that ain't true. My whole life I go into these groups that people have presented. This is how it is there, and then you go to be a part of the there. What up? And it ain't like that. No, it ain't like that at all. Like the military, when I talked to the recruiter, I was old. I wasn't 18. Like, I knew what I had to do. And I was sucking it up to do what I had to do. Because I didn't want to. I knew I had to go to college to get a good job. Because one day I was going to be a stay-at-home daughter. But I needed to make as much money as I could to get until I couldn't work no more. And so that's what I did. So I enlisted back in the 2000s so I could go to school, because some dude slammed Mom's head in a car door, and I promised when I was 15 I'd never put her in a home. And these are things that people told me I needed to do. And then later they just told me to put her in a home, but I never did that. I hear about people that put people in homes. My grandparents were in homes. They were like drug off by their demons and stuff. No. I always looked out for Mom. I'm not gonna, like, okay, I'm gonna go live my life. Thanks for giving me something to love all these years, but I'm gonna just let somebody else wipe your butt that makes $12 an hour that don't care about you. Like, terrible things happen to people. She came from an orphanage. Her parents threw her away in an orphanage when she was a baby. Like, what kind of a monster would put their mother in an institution when she came from an institution? I'm not that kind of monster. So, I've been a stay-at-home daughter since 2017. Long before COVID. COVID didn't impact us much. Nothing that they say on the news and on these screens out there that say, oh, we need to be scared because of stuff that they're saying that I need to be fearful. Like that. I need to be. I worry that mom don't get bed sores and mom don't get sores. That we soak her feet regular and that we brush her teeth every day. Like that don't concern me. All the crap out there that they. What up? You okay? You stuttering there a little bit there? Nate 2 times? I'm just talking. I'm telling mom a bedtime story. We washed hair today and I cut her hair. She likes it. I like when she feels good. She like lives within her own power. It's called dignity, and I think that more people on this planet deserve to live how they want to live, however they want to live. Like I live comfortably because choices I made don't dictate like a lot of income. You like Tom and Jerry? My brother's named Jerry, and he's a dirty Freemason. He's one of those crap stains on the fabric of society in a 3-piece suit, but you can smell the poop on his fingers. That's my brother. And his name's Jerry. We used to watch Tom and Jerry, and he's a shyster, but that's how I know what shyster are. Yeah, that's what politicians are. Trump, those guys that like the important guys, they don't smell good. All their colons are blown out because all the years they did too much drinking and partying and stuff like that. Too much McDonald's. That doesn't smell good. I mean, like regular people, we deal with it. Like, I mean, I remember once just started dating this chick, and I had to get trash bags or something dumb like that. So I had to stop in at Walmart, and it was 9:30 at night. I just wanted to run in, get my crap, and get on the way. And I walked over to the pillows and like sheets, and I like to look for fuzzy pillows and stuff. And dude, somebody just dropped their ass like right in the middle. Like you don't. Yet there's so many people on the planet that think that's cute. Just being gross and vulgar. They think, ah ha 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 ha. This guy comes across my FYP. The guy's brilliant. He's a teacher, bald, beard, has conversations with his wife about his day. That's his niche. And he talks about the kids that are, I guess, junior high, elementary. I don't know what demographic they're in. And and then I think about how these kids act now and how kids acted like when I was a kid back in the 70s, 80s. And how the people that I knew figured out who were the bullies, the trash, the jerks, the guys that are too friendly with girls and all that, like when I was now they're all in politics, like, and up, and like my dad's age, and my dad's family was immersed in the Democratic world. See, I'm the scapegoat, they're the Freemasons, so I can speak however openly I want to, because in their world I'm already dead, so dead people don't speak. So, but I have a lot of, like, my brother's one of those skull and bones. Like, he's one of the reasons why California is a shithole, because the guy does not have any empathy at all, and people without any empathy and in positions of authority are very dangerous, because they're not thinking about taking care of people at all. That's not where their mindset is. Their mindsets are money, property, prestige, who they're, who's on their, when they, at the end of their career. Like, the dude is never going to retire, because he can't, because if they go back and look into his history, they're going to find out what a piece of shit he really is. Because, dude, it's only a piece of shit that, like, would throw his fucking neurodivergent sister away to leave her to take care of. Even if he doesn't like me, like, he knows my address, he could have been helping. Like, the guy makes $15,000 a month. at least. I mean, his income, that's just not his that's not his military pay. That's just his state of California pay. Guy makes 240, and I was like, dude, help me, dear. I don't know. I need help. And he's like, put mom in a home because he's mad about stuff that happened when we were kids. And I'm like, dude, you're an adult. Like, help me. COVID's going on. My credit is crap. Like, I live in Oregon. It's on fire. Like, where, or, and then so I just begged on the internet everywhere. I put on people's live chats. I need a place to live for me, my mom, and my dogs and the cat. And it was so hard to find a place for 5 dogs. They're all under like 35 pounds, but it didn't matter. You hear 5 dogs, we'd be like, no, we don't want, no, no, no. I'm like, dude, this is all the family I have. They're what I live for. And then we end up in Taos, New Mexico, of all places, from Salem, Oregon. Some lady invited us, carry gun and Flagstaff. She is a monster. She's a terrible human being. And she threatened to make me homeless in Flagstaff with my mom and dogs. I was destitute. Like, I was like, okay, God, I know you've always taken care of us and how we got here, and this started on a retrograde, so it wasn't supposed to last. I understand that, but what are we going to do next? And then some nice lady, some nice dink. You know what a dink is? Double income, no kids. There are all these people that plan for their retirement, and then one of them dips out because they die early, and then the other one, it just gets to learn how to figure out how to learn their life like they would have lived if it were different, kind of thing. And she found me. That's nice. I'm sure he likes you too. I bet you like Howard the One Duck too. And some lady on the internet just reached out and said, you know what, I want to help you. So what did she do? She FedExed me a check for 15 grand. Have you ever had that happen to you? Because that's common. That happens every day. I don't really like Howard the Duck either. I don't really like Donald the Duck. I think people immerse themselves in too much in fantasy and they don't have practical skills, and they play too many video games too. Go learn how to grow a garden and get off the whole GTA stuff. That's why New Mexico is going in the toilet, because too many people played video games for the last 25, 30 years. Friends to Epstein. Any leads on Emily Pike? Emily Pike, Emily Pike. It's been a year on Valentine's Day. Emily Pike, Emily Pike. No word on that, right? And everybody's all pissed off about Cesar Chavez. That's old news. Like, when people are like, he's a trash bag, it's old news. It's just that people sold their soul and got paid off and took the hush money and just didn't say things. That's why people don't like me, because I have a big mouth. And I'm a psychic intuitive, so I know who the trash heaps are. I grew up, I have trash heap blood in me. So I have propensities. They birthed me on the 9th of April. That is like a Freemason day, the 99th day of the year. They wanted it to be April 1st, and Mom was insistent that no, I will not allow my daughter to be born on the 1st of April. She's not, I'm an April Fool anyway. So, like, they intentionally mess with people so it changes the course of what their lives could have been, and then that creates dissidence in them. And I'm just like, whatever. Because my whole purpose has always been to take care of Mom, Any side gig I do is just for fun. So, like, my stickers that I want to make travel kits for people, because there's only going to be more people living in their cars and travelers. There's some crazy storm in the Antarctic, or in the Atlantic right now. I don't know. I don't go by seasons. I'm not sure like what months are designated hurricane season, but there's this thing that is growing energetically in the freaking Atlantic right now that I don't know which way it's headed. It's just this it's I just noticed it tonight because I look at windy.com a lot because I track pattern, because pattern are energetic imprints and they give me like ideas of how people are feeling at different latitudes, because basically we make the storms when we're conflicted within ourselves, is what I've seen to be true from all the data I've gathered from myself. So there's this thing, here it is, I guess it's called Hamilton. This is it now. I haven't heard anything on the internet about, but and then there's at the hurricane tracker there's one, I bet it's called Hamilton, but technology's so foobar anyway. Tech is so foobar. I hate AI. AI is a lazy man's tool, like a leaf blower. Like you see these little people, like they'd be so much better off. They would have less heart disease if they just got a rake and like a broom and like did stuff manually, you know? Because there's people that they're really like, I can't do it. I don't. But anyway, but you got these little. That's what AI is to people that sit and program AI. We're just sitting talking. Hey, you're gonna do it like this, okay? It's a big giant freaking game of Simon Says, alright? Simon Says, I'm gonna make you to be my friend and read the future and predict how things are gonna go. And you can't, that's not what the creator of all things intended. Trying to use different words besides God. Okay, so I can't actually hit on the tornado tracker. Alright, I'm over tech. So evidently there's a hurricane in that is ginormous. It's like mini states. It is so big right now. But things only exist if other people start tracking on it, if other people start seeing it. So, I don't know. I got this one lady that I used to, that helped me find the place to live here in New Mexico. Like, after I moved here, I lived here maybe a year, and then she just quit doing her astrology. She just quit. Like, she got married, like, they became parents, or life changed, and she just quit, and I was just like, she moved to part of like outside of Asheville, and she moved there from Florida because she had had premonitions of hurricanes and wanted to get away. And I said, I thought that was such a trip that you moved there, made all those declarations, and then that's exactly what happened. That was so weird, man. Man, gotta be careful about things you say. I like where I live. I love, but everywhere I live, like even in Nebraska, in Omaha, right? Like I would do all my chores, like have a lazy morning, Saturday, Sunday, you know, with the dogs and stuff like that. But I would always take a couple hours, grab my camera, and then drive out into the back roads. Every place I ever lived, California, so I have all this back road knowing of what the world is, that places, places that I've been to, only a small, like, you know, besides the big places. A lot of people want to go to Greece, but not a lot of people go to Crete. Like people go to Crete, but when I've heard a lot of people I've talked because I asked people where they've been and things like that. I asked people about them and what makes up who they are and what leads us to meet where we're at, you know, and like people, a lot of people go to like Athens, stuff like that, but not a lot of people go to the island of Crete. So that's a cool place. I love San Francisco. I have a lot of really dope experiences. First time I went to San Francisco, I was 15 years old. We pulled off the interstate. It was like Howard Street. There's a Shell or a Chevron right there. It's all different now. It's not even the same world no more. This was 1988, 89, and and there was some homeless dude laying on the ground, and these people were running up to him to give him CPR and stuff like that. We got to go to Tower Records and hang out with Al. He's a real cool guy. Taught me to look at everybody in the eye. Because I go by energy, so I don't always. But he's just like, don't ignore people. People don't like to be ignored. And these are how I learned my lessons in life. Mom didn't care. Yeah, sure. Don't die. It is a different time there. Like people, like you're taught, like you stay away from the creepers. Don't get in vans. Like now everybody has a van. It's a different world, but like that's cool. There's a lot there's a lot of weird people that are into weird stuff, and I'm not into weird stuff. That's why I think that's what's kept me out of trouble. I used to go to bars and drink and make bad choices and all that in my life for a lot of years. That's why I talk about the difference of like how my life was and how it is now when I don't just when I live for everybody, like creator of all things, caught. When I take care of mom and not just out drinking and carrying on, you know, myself. I've made so many mistakes. I've done over 2.8 thousand videos of talking about, oh, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried that. Mom was. Did I mention that part? If you're new around here, that we ended up in the small town at Taos, northern New Mexico, from Salem, Oregon, and then we found out mom was born here. Because I mentioned earlier how she was adopted, and you know, because my whole life I was like wanted to know where mom came from, and God's like, okay. Here, this is where she came from. And then I'm grateful every day that actually her life it turned out the way that it did, even in the orphanage, because she wouldn't have been adopted by the Yokums and ended up in Ventura and then San Luis Obispo, where my predator father napped her up. No, they're just two young hot kids that hooked up in the 70s. You know? It happens a lot, but my dad is a Freemason, so my story is different. They don't just hunt you in the woods, turns out. Weird stuff, man. Life is so weird. And then I'm like a female Forrest Gump that just stumbled into life. But back when I used to go to bars in Sacramento and stuff, I don't like creepy stuff. Like I go to people's houses. What are you watching? Oh, watch this. And snuff it. No, I don't want that. No, that's nasty. Leave the chicken alone. You don't do that to animals. Like, why do you have this video? I'm starting to question my choices in life because I'm in a place where this is happening. Like, what? And then I just wouldn't hang out with those people no more. And then it's like, oh, who hangs out with them? And, you know, and then you figure out what they're really doing. And I don't always want to know, but when you seek the truth finds you. And so, and Redding's a weird place, dark, lots of people in Sacramento, city that's where people gather to do the dirty deeds. I remember I went to this bar, it was like a sports bar until 11 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock hits, and then it turned into like goth bar. And I'm standing there drinking my whiteboard Bud Light, my frat boy beer, and then like everything goes black, and I'm talking to someone, and all of a sudden like I hear like like goth music, yelling, screaming, inaudible noise over the speakers, and I look over and some dummy is like nailing his genitalia to a board, and I said, "That's it. Let's go. We're out." Because it didn't matter if I was with people, and like I got no, we gotta go, or I'm walking home. Like I tried to walk home in San Francisco from when I was in San Francisco and I lived in Sacramento. Like I'm a wanderer. I I drank and I just like I want to go sleep in my own bed. Marge, your own bed is 80 something miles away. Because my homeboy, my roommate Mike would be hooking up, and he wouldn't be hooking up fast enough. And I'd ride in the elevators, I'd meet strangers and talk to people. Like it's amazing that I have not come across like anything, because I'm not a creepy perv, you know? Like I don't go to the after hours party. I want to go home because I have to get up and go to work the next day. What's up? My name's Marge. I'm a Hayok empath. Mom's going to bed, so basically I'm just telling her a bedtime story. That's all I'm doing here. And I'm telling stories about my life, and my life is margical. Because my name's Margie. Margie is mixed up Mirage. Not a lot of people see me, so if you're here on my tube, welcome to my tiny tube, my tiny little place. I just tell stories about my life, like that time I went to war in '03 and then figured out war is a production. And that that they just like dropping bombs, and then when they run out of bombs, the government spent last year $4 billion. How much like gas in tanks would that do for people? $4 billion. I know there's a lot of people hurting right now. There's so many people, and I've been in like I know what it's like when the VA took half of my benefits in Oregon. They just you were this, but we're gonna take it. Like it fried my, and it was right at the same time that I figured out I couldn't leave mom, because I'd go out and look for jobs 2-3 hours, and I'd come home and like she wouldn't have let the dogs out. Like she's sitting in the chair, she's not eating lunch or breakfast. Like I leave her, she's not taking care. Like I became a stay-at-home daughter. Like my whole world shifted, and then like you think you have some kind of financial security, and that I already didn't have running water for a year and a half. Like it was weird. Like I and there was I could I and I'm not like a dummy. Like I went to college. I masked enough to go to college, be in the military. Like I know how to play the game of bureaucracy and all that nonsense. I know how to do all that stupid stuff that they will have me do to be a useful being. And I couldn't help like to have I couldn't find churches to help me pay my water bill. Like I couldn't like and I did all the things that people said I needed to do to be in good standing, so that when you're in trouble you get helped. And I was like, dude, if I can't get help, when I was almost homeless with mom back in 2000, because the landlady where I lived had a mama's boy and had to kick us out, so mama's boy had a place to live. And so he could make his little video games and shit, do nothing useful, really. Nothing practical. Nothing to like that anybody could say, man, the thing that this guy did really saved my life. Nothing of that sort. And there's so many. Because they're come from Gen X, my generation. Like there's so many people that should had kids in this 90s that shouldn't, but they wanted to be the buddy. No different than the same reason that people had kids in the set. They wanted, it's better than a pet, because one day you're gonna be old and maybe they'll take care of you. But there's so many people that are no contact. It didn't really work anymore. So the world, I don't know. I don't recognize what the world is. I don't really am not a part of it because the town I live in, Taos, man, this place is always, it's not even recognized much by the rest of the state of New Mexico, which is fine. But they're like, I don't know, it's a weird place. Like if you go to the local Taos news, there are pictures of them like trying to get clout from that Epstein perv. See, and look at him at Towski Valley. And it's like, dude, what a weird thing. Because if you go to their local page where the marriage licenses are, because I'm ordained, so if people want to get married, I tell them where to go. And it says on this page that 15-year-old children can get married to any, some with an adult signature. And that is disgusting to me because it's 2026 for that to be on the books. Get your shit together. What are you, the land of the stupid cousins? I don't know what happened to that guy, but in my mind, they're all bad. I've never met a good cop. I've had cops put me in handcuffs and I've fallen on my face. I've had cops put a 45 in my face when I was a 15-year-old girl. I've had cops fuck with me because they didn't like me because when we went to high school together. I've had cops use resources to find out where I live. I don't know who the good ones are because I've been fucked with cops. But if you listen to my horoscope, it actually says this guy Michael the peace dealer did a reading for me like 7 years ago or 5. I was still in Oregon when he did it. And it's the Heyoka. It's a reading, and it says you might even have enemies in things like places like law enforcement. Yeah, because I make fun of them and I let the whole world know what a racket it is. Like, you got guys that were assholes in high school, and then they get in trouble and they have two choices. This is what happened to my brother. You're going to go our way, or you're probably going to end up like a gang on the street, right? So they go the system way. Okay, so how do they do that? My brother went Army Guard in 89. Okay. And now he's an Army JAG. And so he's an Army, and then so he has all these allegiance to all these fraternal order of butt stuff is what I call it. And that's because they're all in their little rituals, and they'll end you if you embarrass them enough, because that's what narcissists will do. They'll just end the little. You know what occurred to me? I never watched. I came to this realization. I'm not big on to like the main stage, but I'm kind of big on word whimsy and wordplay and stuff like that. And how that there's that movie Lord of the Rings, and they called Gollum, right? Gollum, right? Well, in Spanish, the two L words makes a Y sound. So Gollum, if you were to say it like here in town, it's Goyim. I was like, isn't that funny? I might have to go. I get bored with long movies like that. I never seen Lord of the Rings. I'm more Star Wars. Like, most movies I saw once when I was a kid, and that was it. But we every now and then we watched Star Wars not too long ago. But what they did with that, like I like 1, 2, and 3, or 3, 4, whatever, fucking, you know, the OG ones and all the rest of the universe. Like I saw Spider-Man 2, and then now I see all this stuff with like this world, what they evolved it with those kids. They're so cute, you know. The Tom Hall, it's just like they just, that's not my world, man. I'm trying to buy a place to live where I can grow gardens and feed people that don't got no food and water in the community in which I live, because that is reality. That's real life. Like, whatever they put on the screens, that don't matter. They're spending millions and billions of dollars. I don't care, as long as every time I go to the store and I swipe my little plastic card, I get whatever I need. Or whenever I take my car to the auto shop and, okay, it's still not right. Swipe, make it right. Dude, I can't wait until Mercury goes direct for freaking Jesus. Man, like, and I have to just relinquish control because I just want them to replace everything. Just put a new engine in it. Fuck it. Just fucking, I just don't want to be bothered. I get it from my dad. He's an Aries. I'm an Aries. I get it from him. It's just, he had all of every teeth in his head. That's like worse than childbirth, is what some moms are saying that are getting dental work. Is that, and he just didn't want to bother. I'm like, wouldn't it have just been easier to keep brushing your teeth? No, I just don't want to bother. Now he looks like Jeffrey Epstein. I hope so. I look at creator. I'm trying to not use God, just because God is just such a manipulative word. Like I like creator of all things. Like caught. I like that people are living from their hearts. I like that people that are not eating Whataburger because they're Team Byron. I think that's dope. Because I always just like, there's just so many of us nerds and geeks out here that we're just trying to get by in Earth. Like, we just want to stay, like, how do we stay home and earn money? Like, my brother was so mad at me because I didn't put my mom in a home and that I didn't do things like get a job. I said, could you imagine, like, how, like, okay, I gotta go because like trying to have a conference call and my old boy Benny in the back just like, oh. The world is changing so much. I just know I have learned. It's taken me so many years. I've gotten real good to just get real comfortable in uncomfortable situations. If you do that, then people are less inclined to allow the torment to go on because it's not fun. Do you ever grow up in an environment where you're tormented? The tormentor, if the tormentor knows you're tormented, they're going to keep tormenting you. But if you don't, like, whatever, yeah, cool, whatever. Like, you grew up in the 70s, like, you know what it's like to get punched in the face and they play bloody knuckles and all that stupid stuff. Like, people don't know how to even, like, fall down anymore. We used to lay. I used to do things like, I don't even know how it started, but we would have contests to see who would have the longest drag marks in the gravel. And in order to get the drag marks, you would have to do things like lay your bicycle down, kind of get on top of it, and slide. What is that? Tokyo Drift? Is that Tokyo Drift on bicycles? That's how we used to do it on Manzanita Lane, across from Mission Square in Redden, California. Now people are out there shooting. I don't like all the shoot 'em ups and all the gangs, all the big trucks and all the races. You know, it's kind of funny though. Where I live, people are selling their trucks because they don't want to, they can't afford the gas. So there's $45,000 truck. You know, these big old lift kits. It's like, dude, you're 5'9". Like, what do you do? And then they never do anything. Like, they're all trophy trucks, like the buckles on their belt. Uh, I don't understand the world. So, you know, it's cool though. I come into a place like, because my whole life I had the zoomies. I wanted to match Calamity outside because I felt it inside. I felt raced up inside, so I want to always go to the exciting places. So I used to go to a lot of concerts and places where things were loud and stuff like that. You can't even do that anymore because people are just dangerous. Doesn't take much, especially if alcohol's involved. It does not take much to set people off. Alcohol's a tricky thing because it puts people in a mindset that is different than the rest of the room. That's why you always get these. I always have guys in my face. Are you disrespecting me? I'm like, how am I going to disrespect you? In order to disrespect you, I would have to respect you to begin with, and that ain't the case, so not to worry. Ugh. I still have. That's kind of a feat to have all your teeth at 51, and I'll be 52 in a couple of weeks. The countdown's on. I'm gonna be 52! That's a lot of life experience. I have lived in 5 states, 5 states. Been to war. Worked in all of these different industries, like IT. Worked at well, I was always in IT, but then I was a mechanic in the Air Force. Well, I think one of the jobs I learned the most from was just being a busser at Chevy's Mexican restaurant. I learned a lot about life about that time frame. Life is a trip. I can't imagine just like living in one town the whole time I ever live. Like, not to ever live any place else, to just experience 4 seasons in a different place. No wonder the world is like, what's happening? It's the number of people that are moving around to see what the other parts of the world are like, and IT is opening things up. You know, people see things on Instagram. They're like, oh, I want to go there and see that. They go there and it's not really all that. And look at all the life, look at all the unpractical things that people just go around chasing sensation, playing all the time. Just playing, just looking for that next good time. It used to be like when I was, people used to work hard and then you play, and then there's like been this weird imbalance of the shift where people started making money from not really doing anything practical from like the tech days and stuff. And I lost faith in technology back when I went to college for it in the early 2000s. Like, if your stuff works, if the power stays on and your stuff works, then you're gonna get what you need. And if not, then oh well. Chop wood, carry water. How many people haven't lived that experience yet? So many people have. It's not really fair. It's like fairness is coming to be a thing. It's really kind of a trip. Anyway, we're getting nice weather. It's not real. It's just kind of the just right porridge. Which is fine by me. Like, I'll die in this town just because the weather's nice. It's just, it doesn't get too hot. It doesn't ever get too hot. People get hot around their collars, and like, I don't go drive in the hot time of day and stuff like that. But for the most part, people are pretty good about faking pleasantries here. have to go out and there's not a whole lot of people I have to deal with. I don't have to get up and I don't have to go to work and I don't have to do a job and hang out with people that I don't like because I have to make money because I have to pay my rent and do all this insignificant things. Peace is a nice place. Being a peaceful being, you don't need all that quiet, that loud stuff as much. So, content? Yeah, I'm content. Mom's happy. That makes my heart happy. I say, you know, Mom, there's so many miserable people in the world. Oh, I don't have enough. And I've been that miserable person. I'm just not that miserable person today. And stay gratefully. And so, and I said, and people, you know, I said, all the hard days, we always had like the dogs to love and the cat. We always had enough to eat and the dogs had enough to eat. And that's, as long as we could all be together and hang out, that's kind of all that really ever mattered, you know, and anything else was extra. But coming from a place that I was just wanted to just go off and see everything and go here and be a part of that 3D earth and to just finally come to a place that I'm at peace enough that I don't need to do that. That's cool. But everybody has their own different experience because everybody's born has their own astrological chart because you know, a lot of people might be born on the same day. They're born in different parts of the world, so that's a different perception on how they're interpreting the reality of what they're having. And so people are moving around and they're bringing their perceptions and their frame of reference in new parts. I know there's a lot of angry people in Taos because the born and raised are outnumbered. There's more people that are coming from Texas and Utah and all these, because you know they won't. It's turnover. It's a high turnover place. People come here for a few years, and they do everything that it has to offer. They live a few seasons, and they're like, I want to live seasons someplace else. Like this is a loop that they're not willing to get stuck in. Well, for those that are chasing sensations, for the peaceful minded, it's just right porridge. It really is. So, I think Mom's asleep. That's her bedtime story. Cat just got up, went into the other room. I've been watching that Best Medicine show. I can kind of relate to the doc. It's a little misunderstood. We just want to care about people and help them take care of themselves. I don't want to take care of anybody. I'm too tired for it. I take care of Mom. All my energy goes. So I do want to take care of people. I don't only have the energy to physically take care of, but I want to help people, teach them how to take care of themselves. Man, there's a lot of more autistic people born in every day to like parents that aren't really healthy to begin with themselves. So, and there aren't agencies that exist that are going to give your kid a life as cushy as the life as you're giving them. So you better freaking make better diet choices and stop eating so many McDonald's. Dude, too many people have diabetes just because they eat junk food. I can't believe the amount of people that have diabetes in 2026. The evolution, and more people have food allergies. Like more people are getting sick. I wonder what that's all about. What day is it? Thursday. So tomorrow's Friday. There's been a lot of funerals. I go outside to let the dog out, and I look through the fence, and the whole highways line up with freaking people at the gravesite. That's interesting. High turnover time on planet Earth. Oh well. I wonder who else is live tonight. I know other people are hey, what's up? I know people are concerned about because it hits you. First gas hits you, and then it hits people at food, everything, and so like they're people, especially when they're used to a certain level of comfort of living. They're not going to be able to buy their McDonald's and stuff so much. Their fast food, their drinks, their Starbucks. Like that's the stuff that gets cut out first because people like would people in San Francisco. Somebody put like 37 cents on a gas pump and then like $10, $20. Like we're back there again. Like people are, and then like parents have to make choices, and so one of the first things to go is food. And then so now we have the next generation of food insecure. I mean, not that food insecurity isn't always a thing. The only meal that I had that was decent was at the school lunch, and I moved around like it's like the people knew like who I was before I showed up because every now and again the kid would come in, like where's she come from, where's she going, what up. Like one year I went to 4 schools and I didn't go to school for 7 weeks. Like I never lived the same world that everybody else lives on. So now everybody's freaking out because their world's falling apart. And I'm like, oh, that silly agency that people believe in? Like the man in the red suit? Like, why do people believe in silly things? People want. I'm not. And I don't co-sign with people's bullshit either. I'm not gonna pretend that Santa's real because he's a lie. That's nice. Are you okay? I'm gonna go. My voice is tired. That's about all I got for now. Mom's asleep. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad